Hey there, fellow Mind, Body, Wisdom fans, fans of Louise Hay, and fans of Dowsing. This video will talk a little bit about insulin resistance and the emotions behind it. And insulin resistance is just a simple condition, but it could lead to far worse things like diabetes and such. It's like a pre-diabetic condition where you just start gaining weight and pretty much nothing you can do can help you to lose the weight. It happened to me. It started in 2007, and I was exercising every day. I was watching what I ate and such, but I just kept getting fatter and fatter, and it was so horrifying. And the doctors I went to is like, well, you're getting older, and eat 6 meals a day, small meals, and they gave me all this advice that was not good for people with insulin resistance because they didn't even know what it was. And so now I think more doctors are knowing what it is, but as you know, insulin is produced by the pancreas. And if you look at You Can Heal Your Body A to Z by Louise Hay, one of my favorite quick little go-to books. See, it's pretty small. She says the pancreas represents the sweetness of life, and issues with the pancreas can be triggered by rejection, anger, and frustration because life seems to have lost its sweetness. Well, I'd say for a lot of us, that's been going on. And for me, it was especially true in 2007. Man, my personal life, my professional life, there's all kinds of stuff that I didn't want going on. It was going on. And I was resisting it. I was rejecting it. I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I trusted that person. I believed in this guy. Blah, 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 blah. I was so resistant. I was just turning myself into a hot mess, right? And then gaining all this weight, which of course probably had to do with protection as well. So finally, after researching why this was happening to me, the weight gain and everything, I found the term insulin resistance, found a new doctor, and he had had it too. And so he knew exactly what to do. And he just had me cut back on my carbs to like 50 carbs a day or less, but nothing under 20 carbs a day, and cut back on the sugar. And just very slowly but surely, because I didn't do anything drastic, I still enjoyed my food and my life and my exercise and everything. I just was a little more sensitive and careful about the carbs and the sugar I ate. I slowly shed about 30 pounds in the last 2.5 years or so. So thank you, Dr. D, and I appreciate you so much, and everyone else who helped me understand this. But then I started thinking, when I reached a plateau after about 17 pounds of weight loss after cutting back on the carbs and sugar, what kind of emotional elements could be involved in insulin resistance? You know, I just absolutely love that kind of stuff, the mind, body, wisdom. So of course I dowsed to see if I had any insulin resistance emotions. And of course the first thing to do if you're going to check on this for yourself is to learn dowsing. If you don't already know it or you want to improve your dowsing skills, please check out my book on Amazon, Fearless Accurate Dowsing. It was a bestseller the first weekend it was published and released, and got a lot of good reviews. So the pancreas creates the insulin. Insulin and pancreas are about the sweetness of life, right, according to Louise Hay. And so what I just did was douse, and of course I had read up on insulin resistance, so I checked my dowsing. Dowsing, do you know what insulin resistance is? Now when I first did that, it was a no. This is a yes answer, this is a no. I use my hands to douse, no tools. It's called deviceless dowsing. And that's why when I read up on the insulin resistance and I dowsed, and then finally it knew what it was. Because if you start dowsing on stuff that your mind or your subconscious mind doesn't know what it is, or the dowsing doesn't understand certain, especially medical terms and like scientific or technical lingo and things like that, you're going to get wrong answers. So I had dowsed. Do you know the origin of the insulin resistance in human Colleen's body? Can you tell me what year it was? Okay, it was the year 2000 and beyond. 2010 and beyond. Okay, so it's between 2010 and 2010, 9, 8, 7. All right, was that about my personal life, my professional life? Yeah, that was a tough year for me. So of course I was resisting all these what I considered terrible things happening in my life, and as I resisted my life and wondered where the sweetness was, the insulin resistance triggered, and I had a tough bout of life for years to come after that, but then I started switching it around. And so what you would do is just, if you, let me just check now. Another way to check on it is, okay, body, you know, or Dowsing, you know what insulin resistance is? Okay, right now, human Colleen's body has insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, I want to be healthy, I want to be sick. Well, that can start with a polarity reversal, and any shock or trauma in our lives can create a polarity reversal, which means your energy's running sort of wonky. It wants to be sick, not healthy. When human bodies, all bodies, even animal bodies, plant bodies, they want to be healthy. They do what they can. But trauma and shock and stress can mess up your polarities. So, tell you really quick, just clear the governing vessel meridian by running my hand in an arc from in front of my mouth over the center of my head, the back center, and just talk about, I now correct all my body's, my energy's polarity reversals now, so that polarities run perfectly, completely, harmoniously, and so it is. So I'm going to check again. Human Colleen's body, insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, I want to be healthy. Insulin resistance, I want to be sick. There you have it. Now, if you know, if you can do this kind of stuff that I'm showing you, and you think, okay, I want to know, I want to get rid of the emotional roots of the insulin resistance by finding out when it is and what it was about, is, of course, we already traced mine back to 2007. Is it important for the insulin resistance in human Colleen to return to 2007 via the dowsing and find out what was going on exactly? So we'll go to my personal life. Is it about the weight loss, the relationship I was in at that time? Okay, and I always check for 5 fears. Fear of not being safe, fear the bad times are never going to end, fear of failure, fear that with every success comes consequences, and then the final fear, like fears of rejection or abandonment. Tell me which of these fears were triggering my insulin resistance and may still be affecting me now. Fear of failure, rejection, abandonment, not being safe, bad times never ending, and fear of not being safe. Well, that makes sense as I look back on that year. So I would suggest you write them down. You can ask for a severity. Do you know the severity of all those fears is the same severity? Level 10, 9, 8. So you would just clear them out by stimulating your governing vessel meridian like this, or doing the crumbling action, you know, tapping under your nose, the EFT fans, that's a big point, all the end points at the governing vessel meridian. You just tap and talk, or arc and talk, or crumble and talk, and just say, I now release all my fears from 2007 that are triggering this insulin resistance, fears of not being safe, fears that the bad times in that relationship would never end, fears of rejection and abandonment by him, which I don't know why, because I was wishing he'd leave. Eventually he did. Releasing any and other fears triggering this insulin resistance because of my personal relationship woes in 2007. Okay. Insulin resistant fears in 2007 about my personal relationship, about work and life, my professional life. Okay. So, as you can see, I got rid of my fears about the relationship that were triggering the insulin resistance. And again, I was very resistant to all the bad stuff going on in my relationship, saying, I can't believe this. I trusted this person. I was so frustrated. I was resisting everything that was happening. So my body started putting on the weight, and the insulin resistance triggered because I didn't have the sweetness in life, wasn't flowing anywhere for me at that time. So we'll go back to the business. My business fears back in 2007 that triggered the insulin resistance were fears of failure, rejection, abandonment, consequences of success, not being safe, and bad times never ending. Well, as you all probably remember, that was a time right when everything started crashing down. The real estate market, businesses, everything. And it was not a good time for pretty much the entire world. Is that what this is about? Okay. And everyone's businesses were taking a nosedive, as well as like real estate crash and such. So I'm going just to release now. I release all my fears from 2007 that the bad times will never end in my business. And the resistance, the horror, the shock, the grief, feeling the loss, the shame, the humiliation. Everything was going so well. And I was resisting it and putting on the fat to protect myself from the outside world horrors that were happening in my life. Letting it go, letting it go. And any and all remaining fears causing the insulin resistance in 2007 that continued on, so be it. So now I'm going to check again. Insulin resistance emotions still lingering, fears still lingering from 2007. Okay. In business, in my personal life, all right, it means no, it's gone. So now I'm going to check really quick and just see insulin resistance moving forward from 2007. Even considering the mom issues and stuff that I was resisting? No. All right, so that's a good thing. Is my pancreas producing insulin? Can you sense that? At a perfect rate and using insulin, my body's using the insulin as it was intended when I was born? Okay, good. So that's just something really quick you could check in. You can also check, if you want, you can recharge, rebalance, realign your pancreas, liver, spleen, gallbladder to 100% effectiveness and functionality. Insulin use, in a perfect way. And so it is. My body uses insulin. It knows how to use insulin and it uses it. The sweetness in life flows to me now. Yeah. Put in those affirmations the same way that you released your fears and your insulin resistance. Tapping in the sweetness of life coming my way. Ever increasing sweetness of life. And so it is. So that's what I do. Is show you how to douse. Show how to clear the emotions and improve your health, your well-being, and please do it for others. You're a treasure. You're here on this planet for a reason. You're interested in what I'm showing you for a reason, and it could be to help you because self-care is so important now because it's tough, right? But help your loved ones and your animal friends as well. So that's today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. Namaste. When you learn to dowse, the universal wisdom is yours for the asking. Please check out my book, Fearless Accurate Dowsing, and any of my self-healing books, all available and very affordable on Amazon. Thank you.